Ladies and gentlemen, denizens of the internet, welcome back to the Deplorable Batcave podcast. I'm your host, Spartacus, and we have a lovely selection of panelists today. Not that you can see them, but trust me, they're lovely. Question. Panelists may cause eye bleeding and eye strain. From my left to my right, we have Blippity Blop.
Hello. Have you been posting naughty comments on the interwebs?
The, well,
No, officer, I have not.
Labash.
You got a fucking license for that?
And joining us for the first time in the Batcave, please give us a warm welcome for Top Keck.
I have no licenses, but I promise you, my heritage is the ultimate troll shield.
As is mine. I am ethnic Kekistani. Moving on. We've got some topics to talk about, but obviously the one that's topping the charts is Free Dankula. Count Dankula, also known as the guy with the Nazi pug, for some fucking reason, has been convicted. He's been found guilty of a hate crime for trying to troll his girlfriend and sharing the video online. If you haven't seen it yet, go online. You can find it on YouTube. It's hilarious. But the thing is, what they got him under is a 2003 Communications Act that allows them to go after anything that they consider grossly offensive. So, with that Orwellian thought in mind, gentlemen, I open the floor.
Mate, your dog's a joke.
What I wonder is, how much did his attorney really try? Like, I think the ultimate defense there would have been, okay, prove to me the dog knows who Hitler is. If I train the dog to be a fucking Nazi, he's got to be able to recognize Hitler and Goebbels and Goering and be able to pick the swastika from, like, say, an Indian reverse swastika.
Well, Dankula did have the video of the pug watching Hitler speeches.
So he was watching the History Channel. That's not a crime. Wait, is that a crime in Britain?
Might be.
Probably.
Yeah, Top
currently-
Kick, I think I can answer that question partially. So my understanding is that the lawyer did indeed give a impassioned speech referencing 1984 and indeed previous iterations of mocking Nazis in comedy, most famously, of course, from the likes of Monty Python. The judge acknowledged that and yet still dismissed it, which leads me to believe that the decision had already been made, irrespective of whatever may have been presented as evidence. If I understand this correctly, there was no jury. Is that correct, guys?
Yeah, it was just a
It was a bench trial, if you wanted to use the American term.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a kangaroo court. It was a decision that had already been made. And no matter what his lawyer would have said, it would have been irrelevant. And I dare say the drawing out of the sentencing is to add to that, whether it's intimidation, whether it's to make an example. Actually, it almost certainly is to make an example because the precedent has now been made.
Yeah, but the
This
problem
is-
is you've made a martyr, so congratulations. If somebody wants to get famous, they're going to do the exact same thing.
Well, it's not only... Bob pointed this out a few days ago when the news dropped. The judge basically said context no longer matters.
Or
This-
the court determines context irrespective of anything you say or evidence the contrary.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in and of itself, is the most terrifying thing. People on Twitter have been calling it Orwellian, 1984-ish, but I actually found one post on Twitter that actually trumped all that. It basically said, well, 1984, in and of itself, at least, while horrific, it served the purpose. It served the government's interests. In this case, it serves the interests of the people the government are afraid to offend, which is far more terrifying.
Mm-hmm. And though it could be argued that, well, it does serve the government interest because they'll pacify them for a time, they'll continue to get their votes. in the end, all it will do is weaken whatever establishment there is, whatever the host culture is,
Yeah.
in favor of those that they are afraid of.
Yeah, but the problem
Well,
is this: when you create a martyr, you strengthen a cause.
That is true. But I guess their hope is that we're the police, we're these institutions, you're going to listen to us. Their hope is that people will be too placid and too afraid to actually rise up.
Well, in the UK,
to do anything
maybe.
about it. Yeah. Well, this is the
Well,
UK.
especially in the UK. You guys are basically
Well,
completely...
to steal a phrase
Neutered.
from a movie, the tighter you grip, the more systems that will slip through your fingers.
Huh.
The more you tell somebody not to do something, it makes them want to do it more. Combine that with the fact that Tommy Robinson is cropping up in this now. You've got what's her name? Is it Pettibone and Lauren Southern jumping on this after being banned from the UK. You're looking at full scale major political unrest.
Well, I've seen threads on Twitter where these people say they hate Tommy Robinson, they hate Lauren Southern, they hate Pettibone, but they're defending Dankula. They say, I don't like the people that are associated with what I'm doing, but I have to defend it.
Mm. And the irony is that Dankula, by his own admission, was formerly a communist.
He's now a Democratic socialist.
Had communist sympathies, dabbled in that crowd, as it were.
His first tattoo was that of the hammer and sickle, for God's sake, with the red star.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Please tell me you got that removed.
Nope.
Oh, no, he wears that proudly.
Yeah.
He wears that proudly as a reminder of his past.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And it doesn't matter, as Smart was bringing up before, it doesn't matter what his intention was. Back what he was saying 2 years ago, what's described in the video, it's a joke. It was designed to irritate his girlfriend. That is irrelevant.
Because she was so obsessed with the pug. So she wanted to turn the pug into the least cute thing he could think of, which was a Nazi. In the end, he made an adorable pug Nazi, but yeah.
He got
this is, yeah. The thing is that, I mean, I've heard some comments from people I've been speaking with on the subject. Oh, it's just an old guy. That generation doesn't really have any grip on the internet. I think that's a very...
Are you talking about the judge or Dankula?
Yeah, I'm talking about the judge. I think that's a very naive route to take. This is very malicious. Bear in mind that Scotland's population has overall, it has a very small Muslim and Jewish population. Very small minority percentage of its overall population to begin with. And to my knowledge, nobody initially complained, and nobody complained about that video. Was it until about 3 weeks? And the person who complained, to my understanding, was actually somebody who worked within that particular police department.
Yeah, their hate crime analyst or whatever the hell the title is.
Specifically looking for things like these. To make much ado about nothing.
Well, yeah, they have to justify their paycheck somehow. If they're not convicting thought criminals, then how are they going to get funding?
No, but this is the thing: is that it wasn't just about convicting somebody. This is like it's almost like a war. All the stops were pulled out. The police apparently informed the press before they even carried out the arrest.
Which I believe under UK law is highly illegal.
This is illegal. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It's illegal in America as well. It's illegal in any Western country.
Well, okay. At least before the warrant goes. At least before the warrant's printed.
Well, yeah. This was a stunt. This was designed. I mean, it backfired terribly, but I believe what they may have tried to achieve with this is total obliteration of him. I mean, before this really kicked off, he was a very small channel.
Yeah.
pretty much unheard of.
Yeah, and if they did nothing, he would have been a flash in the pan. Maybe he would have gotten a little bit of popularity for a time, couple of niche fans, then, well, poof. It's what happens with most viral video makers. They disappear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the idea was to squash him like a bug. It had the opposite effect.
Well, it's a Streisand effect.
Did it have the opposite effect?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. His channel blew.
No, his channel blew up, but he's still going to jail.
Okay.
It won't be blown up in a year.
No. What I mean by that is, by crushing him at that time, their thought process would be, nobody's going to... We throw him away, everybody's going to be cowed by this, and no one else is ever going to do anything like it.
I don't think that was their thought process. I think their thought process was, here's the perfect guy who's small enough now we can hit him, so we can have legal precedent.
Okay, that's part of it, perhaps, but the idea they never expected.
He blows up because he's not going to get monetized. YouTube can't monetize his content because it's too controversial. He's going to get yellow boxed. He's never going to get reapproved. All his shit's getting reported. In the normie's eyes in the public, he's scum, and he's getting a legal decision against him and going to jail.
Well, maybe not jail. We don't know. We don't have.
Okay.
We don't have
okay, but speaking of normies, so you have popular comedians here. I mean, I don't like either of them, but I'm not going to take away the fact that they are considered popular comedians here, discussing this matter weeks and weeks ago. So, no, it did have the opposite effect.
Yeah, it's reaching the normies, and that's very dangerous for a government.
And it is utterly imperative that, of all people, the comedians discuss this. If I'm to understand correctly, they were among the first to go during the Russian Revolution. The comedians are the first to go.
And they're going to be the first to go in the UK, too, because as you've seen some of the headlines, I don't know if you've seen them, but I saw them mostly today and yesterday, that Ricky Gervais is being fucking plastered as pro-Nazi.
Yeah.
How original.
No, the best thing he could do is just say, yes, I am.
No, but
because he came out in
was,
support for Gank. The whole position is he is against the common good, and he's for Nazism.
Greater good.
Okay, the irony. A man that was making fun of Nazis, a National Socialist movement, is being arrested and tried and sentenced by a National Socialist government.
And one of the funniest jokes is his trial is twice as long as the fucking Nuremberg trial.
No shit.
Okay, so it's longer. So what? It's exhausting him financially to keep his lawyer on retainer. It's just causing impact. They're just showing that they will make it as painful as possible to defend yourself in the future.
Yeah, but the problem is, because of his status now, a lot of that can be mitigated with crowdfunding.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to get to before, is that they intended to squash him like a bug. They intended the financial costs of such an endeavor to be completely impossible. But because he has such a far reach now, it's so
150,000 subs. I mean, the price.
Right, but don't forget also on other platforms, he has his own Discord server. He has a huge Twitter. Has his Twitter account been suspended?
Well,
or
it also doesn't matter
No,
because
it is not.
because there are secondary individuals who are even more popular than him who are backing him.
But how much crowdfunding will the community endure before they just say fuck it?
A lot. You'd be surprised.
Well, sorry, when you ask that question, do you mean for him specifically, or do you mean for anybody?
For people after people after people after people.
Okay,
Okay, for more than him, probably not. But for him specifically, yes. Because
especially because he's the prime example.
Yeah, this is the precedent is still in the making. So how this turns out is everybody is watching this with bated breath.
I mean,
there is a chance for an appeal, but chances are pretty slim on that going through.
I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, all right, love him or hate him, Dr. Rand McCam and the Honey Badgers have weighed in.
Yeah.
What they do?
They're actually going to go out there and start forming groups. They're going IRL.
As well as that, this is, I mean, the intention was to have this as a separate subject, but the fact of the matter is they're all intertwined. Last Sunday, I attended the free speech rally at Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park, and there was another one intended for this week, this coming week. Many thousands of people turned up, and this is in the wake of the whole Martin Sellner, Lauren Southern fiasco. People are pissed off here, and you can actually feel it in the air. They may be afraid to speak of it openly, but slowly and surely this is going to only heat up. And especially after what's happened with Dankula, I suspect that the next rally is going to be even more substantive in terms of numbers of people voicing their concern. So this is having a noticeable effect that the establishment will not be able to ignore.
And that there's also, I don't want to bring up the specter of too much of civil rights, but when you have hundreds or thousands of people doing the same thing all at once, it basically makes the law unenforceable because because the police won't have the resource to prosecute it.
They already don't have the resources.
Yeah. They don't. They rely on fear.
Yeah, and if people are no longer scared.
By setting up an atmosphere of, if you post naughty comments, we're going to find you and hunt you down. And publishing that, we arrested 3,000 people for making naughty comments. The idea of that is to put fear into the populace.
And the fact that they're pushing that authoritarian narrative that, you think you're safe behind that monitor keyboard, but we're tracking you. We will find you. I mean, that's terrifying.
But then you combine it. Then you combine it with the massive failures of Telford, Rotherham, and other cities, and the police are going like, we arrested 3,000 people who were making hate speech online, and people go, why in God's name aren't you arresting the rapists? These people are just being assholes on the internet. Why are you spending any time on them?
And Sewell's got a damn good point, because the way that all these entities are trying to avoid being sort of cornered and tackling these issues is pushing the nasty Nazi trolls on the interwebs. But by being forced to discuss these issues, it erodes their power, it erodes their authority, and erodes the narrative that they're trying to push down people's throats. And it forces this topic into the mainstream, which is what they've been trying to hide for years.
All right, so maybe it's false perception, but my perception of your guys' culture on the island as a whole is that the normal citizen, when this sort of shit comes up, has a very strong opinion in his own home, and then during the course of his day will look down at the ground and continue on, because you just carry on. That's the British mentality, so far as I see it.
For the most part, you're correct, but that is changing. There's only so much
carrying on.
Yeah, that a nation can do before that sort of boils over.
We're entering a perfect storm scenario.
There is merit to what you're saying in the sense of, if you destroy the culture, if you keep importing a completely opposing culture to sort of muddy the waters and dilute the principles, then yes, you're not going to have enough of a core group of people who are principled in a particular way to oppose what's happening.
It's not just the watering down of the culture, it's the watering down of the voices, because you're getting...
Well, the two go hand in hand. If you have people coming in, if you have a whole bunch of people coming in who are obviously a certain way inclined and wish to defend the horrors that are going on, and wish to suppress that from public mind because they're beyond criticism and reproach, if they represent the largest number of voices that are being heard, then anyone whose principles of the previous culture, there's simply not going to be enough of them anyway.
But again, if the original culture is keep your head down and don't make waves, and you have the vocal minority saying, this is very important that we continue to pursue these decency laws because they're, how do I put this tactfully? It's the first step to Sharia law.
Mm-hmm.
By enforcing these decency acts. If that vocal minority is the one that's calling it out, and anybody who goes against them gets shouted down as racist, which is what will happen, you're going to just have the same culture that keeps their head down and moves on. Keep their head down and move on until it affects them specifically. And then it'll be too late.
Okay, so the idea of the whole culture being watered down, I think that does take a considerable amount of time to...
well, it depends on how many people you import.
Yeah, you need to import huge numbers of people, which...
They are.
It is still continuing, even though we're supposed to be leaving the EU. The thing is, though, is that I don't know if you guys watched the video from Lauren Southern when she was actually in Luton distributing the Allah is Gay posters. Did any of you watch that video? I mean, she'd been speaking about that anyway. So when she's approached by the police there, they pretty much admit that they need her to remove those flags and basically piss off because they don't want to upset the locals because she and her crew might get injured. It's it's relatively polite way of saying we're afraid of Sharia law. We have no power here, and we can't do anything if they decide to turn into a mob and kill you. Now,
good. So you guys officially have no-go zones.
Right, so I don't think that the populace as a whole is going to accept that. And I do think that people are going to rise up to it. And Brexit is an example of how that happened. The majority of people voted to leave the EU.
A narrow majority
of only, 1.5 million people or something like that, but a majority nonetheless.
But also that narrow majority was still won even with the entire media and political establishment.
Yeah, this is the other thing. I remember I've said this in the previous podcast, which was close to the time. That day they were using all sorts of dirty tactics, and they had the enormous edge, and of course they had the weight of the political establishment, media, you name it. They would have you believe that Brexit had no hope in hell.
I'm still of the mind it doesn't. Have you guys left yet?
Yeah, given the amount of fucking time it's taking, Jesus.
It does take 2 years, apparently. The other thing is that...
and are you guys getting favorable terms, and just walking out if you don't get them?
No.
That's because
and that is obviously deliberate. But
yes, it's deliberate so that you guys will get to the point where you're going to get another referendum going, well, we could either stay and get better terms.
That is the intention.
Even get shit
that
on
is
like
the intention, but it's okay. All these things in conjunction, so the rape gangs, the suppression of free speech, and this. I mean, you can't have all these things going on at the same time and hope to keep the public sweet and happy. Unless I'm sorely mistaken.
Unless you're willing to use force.
But you can totally keep them shutting the fuck up as long as you shot them down well enough.
Maybe with one or even two of these things, but all three of these aspects?
I think it's. I can't think of a phrase to continue. Sorry.
Well, also, something else that is interesting that is starting to happen. Blip, you remember that member of the House of Lords that in session said, "Can we talk about the Muslims now?"
Yes.
It is getting into the politicians, too. Known ones.
Yes.
This
and not even just the plebs, the lords.
Yeah, we're talking about something that cannot be ignored. Yes, that it is quiet. It's not like American activism, which is much more boisterous and loud. This is a slow burn that the UK government is just trying to ignore and suppress, but it's only spreading.
The thing is, though, is that not only has he consistently brought this up over the years, he's recently put out an offer to Baroness Saida Wasi, who, how should we put it, has some very questionable, has made some very questionable friendships and statements, and is one of those trying to shout him down. But he's put in an interesting offer, basically mediating a debate between Tommy Robinson and herself. I very much doubt that will happen.
No, they're scared shitless of any sort of confrontation, which might prove them wrong. As long as they can shut you down from a distance, they're all powerful. But once you get up close and personal, they can't do shit.
We're dealing with cowards. I'm sorry, we're dealing with cowards. And the thing is, look, I don't know what's going through the head of the rank and file of the police, but even these guys, they risk revolt among the police force personnel who may say, no, I don't care what my boss says. He can fire me for all I care. I'm not going to enforce this law when I know 8 girls on my street who got raped. And you're telling me to drop that.
Yeah, but again, that's a thing, but you know what goes through the head of most police officers? And I'll tell you, because I've been one. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True.
It's I've got 2 kids, I've got a mortgage, I've got a wife, I got to get through the day. I got to look to tomorrow, I got to do my job. I don't want a job hunt. I have a skill set that will not get me any other job. I don't want to be blacklisted from my job. I don't want to have to work mall security. That's what goes through that police officer's head when he looks at a policy that he fucking hates and would rather take a bullet to his ball than enforce. Actually,
probably even more heightened, because here to end up in prison as a police officer who's in any way, shape, or form involved with doing something naughty against Islam, that's a death sentence. But
yeah, and then
the prisons are essentially the world's biggest mosque.
Yeah, then you get over there and it's, I say something against it, they're going to trump me up on indecency laws and throw me in prison. So yeah, they're going to follow the rules. Seawall?
All I know is that psychologically, it is very hard to get people from a local community oppressing that local community. There is an upper limit, and once that breaches, the entire system collapses all at once.
I will say this, though, to you, Top Keck. The victims of these various rape gangs are not just white English people. There are also other ethnic minorities.
Yeah.
Particularly Sikhs.
Of course, because they're not people.
Just not Muslim.
No, because they're not people. They're not people to these people.
Right. But the thing is, though, is that in trying to enforce the law, because of the whole oppression Olympics, those trying to enforce these draconian principles are going to be befuddled. Because, I can't arrest a brown person. What do I do? Damn it.
But the problem is the victim is a brown person.
Yeah, they're going to have to start wearing identification stars and stuff.
Well, they're gonna resort to, well, it's just my culture. Well, I can't do anything to change his culture. I mean, he's doing his best.
That'd be racist.
Right, but the thing is, though, and we actually noticed this during the Tottenham riots back in 2011. People take the law into their own hands.
Yeah,
that was fucked up. But people took the law into their own hands, and in certain areas, the thugs and rioters would dare not go because they knew they were going to get the living shit beaten out of them.
Yeah, there is a very significant risk. I mean, we are facing a potential Weimar Republic scenario in the UK.
Oh, you mean the land without guns?
Oh, there are plenty of guns. Plenty of guns.
Yeah.
Usually they get tossed in the river after a crime.
Well, yeah, but they're not in the right hands.
They might be.
Well, what I'm referencing is when...
Let me put it this way, Blip. Do you think they're in the hands of people that couldn't be whipped into a militia at a moment's notice to go and get the undesirables out of their houses?
It depends what you mean by that. Though they already are in a militia, just not a very pleasant one, and one without any loyalty to the country.
Yeah, but do they have loyalty to $1 or to £1?
Let's just say that they are soldiers, spelled Soulja.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, though, is that they seem to be the sort of people who will do things for the cash.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are, say, the government and you need a quick militia to either cause a riot so that you can start pulling undesirables out of their houses or put down a counter riot without enough weapons, they would be the people to go to.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go to that.
I mean, if I were in charge and I wanted to oppress people, I'd go to them instantly. You can pay them off, and you can kill them off when they're done.
Oh, I suppose if you're an authoritarian,
Yeah, if you go full on Machiavelli.
ruler, then yeah. The thing is that these people don't tend to have a very they don't regard the law with favor, and they don't regard the police in a favorable light.
Alright, so I went to the bathroom and I just came back. What the fuck are we talking about? I see, because I've been listening to bits and pieces, and I jumped from chavs to IRA to...
How well can I put this? We're talking about using the Dindus to fight the normal people so that the police can clean shop.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
fine.
But the situation that I'm referencing, I'm not saying it's going to be a full-on black shirts marching down the street scenario, but with what's going on, we could see vigilante gangs very easily start cropping up.
Oh, well, it's already happened in Finland and Poland, Eastern Europe.
Seawall, that has happened in the past.
Actually,
Yeah.
Even though the police are,
even though police officers are ordered to stop these guys, they still.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna bring this a little bit more relevancy. Well,
yeah,
we've had people try to be vigilantes in the case of these rape gangs. We've had that happen.
I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about organized groups, and basically
A group of fathers went after the people that went after their daughters, and they got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, the whole point is once you get enough vigilantes, then you have the authoritarians go, see what we mean? You definitely need more of us police in there, and more of a military police force. Yeah, because the police are local. They can't be trusted. No, we'll use something more national.
But yeah, I'm...
No, it isn't.
But, yeah, a little late there, buddy, but all right. But we're basically arguing in circles at this point.
Yeah. Ooh, what are we arguing? I want to get involved.
We're putting this topic to bed.
Aww.
That's your fault for coming late.
Now, is this putting the topic to bed? Are we putting it to bed against its will?
They told me about today.
Yes, we're putting it to bed against its will. We're going to rape this topic.
How dare you rape gang my topic?
Well, we can always use it later.
Topcat, you're a racist and a Nazi. you just don't respect other cultures.
All right,
right,
so basically...
Sparta, go point your head towards Mecca if you're going to rape my topic.
No, thanks. I don't like sticking my ass up in the air because, I live around gay people.
Dude, I live around gay people. So many people like to tail my ass when I'm driving all the fucking time.
All right, but, okay, so that's actually 2 topics down.
Yep.
Let's talk about all right, I guess the next thing on our list is the Austin bomber. Okay, topic's over.
Yeah. Long story short, there was a series of porch and letter bombs that were discovered. I think it was 5 people injured, 2 people killed, is the final body count, and the police were able to track the bomber down. They gave chase, and he blew himself up in his own car. From what the police have found, they actually did find a confession tape from him, 25 minutes long. And from what I was reading from the article, they didn't give a lot of details, but this sounds like a type, one of those disaffected youth school shooters. It's just he has inordinate amounts of patience, which is kind of scary. We kind of got lucky they stopped him this early.
Was this indeed a Unabomber Mark II?
No real politics. There was no real politics.
Guys. Don't worry about it though, okay? Because we need to worry about the big issue, right? Big Explosive is telling us to, let cooler heads prevail and not be so chemical reactionary.
Oh,
That was bad. That was bad. And you should feel.
Love
bad.
you, Lavash.
The thing is, though, how they caught the guy was with grainy ass security camera footage from a UPS store.
Yeah.
And what I've seen on Twitter and stuff is people are they caught him with low grade security footage. Why haven't they had anything else from the Mandalay Bay shooting?
Well, okay, hold on.
Much higher security.
It wasn't just that video. They also got his license plate. They also got online purchases because he used an exotic battery for the device. They tracked him down through 8 different avenues. It all pointed to one guy.
No. Point still stands.
Yeah, point does stand. I did hear a little while back that they've reopened the ISIS investigation side of things for the Mandalay Bay shooting, so who knows?
I mean, it's over and done with in the public eye.
Yeah. Unless something major comes out about it, like the investigation hid the fact there was another shooter, or they found out what the motive was early on that hid it, then it would
Don't
just be
worry,
a scandal.
Seawall.
there was a second shooter.
When that happens, just some school in Pennsylvania will get shot up, and we'll forget all about it. It'll be great.
He knows the drill.
And I apologize. I'm usually up to date on things. What was the Mandalay Bay shooting?
The Vegas.
Oh, okay.
500 injured, 50 killed.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
okay.
the hotel was the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
I'm still convinced it was just a pissed off mailman, but what do I know?
God damn it.
I'm sorry.
Can we kick him already?
I'm still convinced I could have done better.
Oh,
Yeah, no. Imagine if he didn't have a bump stock, how many more people he would have killed, because he would actually be able to hit something.
Right?
I'm just...
Without that silencer.
The fact you just call it that pissed me off even more. Flip, you know better, okay? I know you know better.
No, they don't have guns over there. That's the reason why. He just doesn't have enough exposure.
We have plenty of guns, just not in the hands of lawful people.
Yeah.
Hell,
Well,
not even
that's
in the
how we
hands
should
of your
do it.
regular old police officers.
Yeah.
What do they get? Plastic spoons that they can clank loudly at people?
No,
Get
they have
whistles.
lipstick tubes.
Rape whistles.
Taser, taser, taser. You're being tasered, all right.
No, they have police batons, but they're actually just inflatable balloons.
No,
They're
no,
giant black dildos.
I'm afraid you're all wrong because it might offend somebody.
Okay, I think we're getting a little off the point, but yeah, the Austin bomber. It also ties into another story, the Maryland school shooting, which was stopped
no
by
one's going to talk about.
that was stopped by the school resources officer after only 2 injured, and the only person dead is basically the guy who brought the gun to school and tried to shoot people. So
And it was a Glock 19, which he is not legally allowed to purchase and is not an assault weapon. So literally no legislation that has ever been passed in that state would have stopped it.
In the state of Maryland, it is completely illegal for someone under the age of 21 to own a handgun.
He didn't own it, he was borrowing it. It's fine.
It's fine.
Completely legal.
It's why they take it to the range to test it out.
Look, I'm borrowing my friend's nuke. His name is Kim.
It's right.
So
It's a
don't worry, guys. It's totally legal for me to borrow my buddy Jong-un's nuke.
Yeah, but does it work?
The button on it doesn't.
find out.
Ish, you had a 50-50
Pretty small,
shot.
it's a pretty
It'll either
small button.
nuke
It's meant for tiny
or
hands.
launch. It'll either nuke or launch. You can't get both. We're just gonna roll the dice and see which one it is today. Do we nuke the launch pad or do we fire a gun into your face?
He might get a crit.
Yeah, my
You might citadel my battleship.
yeah. Also, Ison, your understanding of Korean naming convention is fucking atrocious.
Do you expect any sort of
yeah, you expect me to give a crap about North Korean culture?
No, it's general
My bad.
Korean culture, bro.
I don't even care about Korea. All right, do they? They don't even make good anime.
All they have is boy bands. and
How dare you?
cars.
How dare you?
Make some good
They have
animated movies,
Sudoku.
but their
They have
actual
Sudoku.
anime is trash.
Fuck you all. I lost a year of my life to that substance.
Spot.
Hachi and Shipak was fine, but everything else is shit.
Yeah.
Spot.
We're getting off topic. Spart, you need to rein us in.
Oh, don't worry. I have my hand on the McNukes.
Ooh.
Did somebody Mick violate the nap?
Yep.
Do they come with a small fry?
Gotta become a Szechuan sauce so I can hear people reeing and that they're pickled Rick as they die.
Oh, good. The 200 IQ solution.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't think it's on our topic list, but Rick and Morty might get canceled.
Fuck yeah.
That's Keck. That's Keck if I ever heard it.
It's basically just bootleg Poocher.
Wait. And Trump is to blame.
Wait, it gets better. Earlier this season, they were praising the fact that they just got a staff of women writers to cover the show. So they're saying it's the best season ever.
And the quality went down.
And then they're canceled.
They're not canceled. They're just not ever going to get picked up for another season. It's the finisher. It's
Yo,
finished.
gents, I'll be right back.
The show is done, quote unquote. That'll be the spin.
Speaking of shows being done, unfortunately, less levity here. We do have to talk about the possibility that YouTube is trying to get rid of firearms featured channels. Now, there's been some debate on whether or not this is hyperbole, but I actually do have a excerpt from their new policy on content featuring firearms sitting right in front of me. YouTube, and I'm quoting here. YouTube prohibits certain kinds of content featuring firearms. Specifically, we don't allow content that intends to sell firearms or certain firearms accessories through direct sales, e.g. private sales by individuals, or links to sites that sell these items. These accessories include, but may not be limited to, accessories that enable the firearm to simulate automatic fire or convert a firearm to automatic fire, e.g. bump stocks, Gatling triggers, drop-in, auto-series conversion kits, and high-capacity magazines, or provides instructions on manufacturing a firearm, ammunition, high-capacity magazine, homemade silencer suppressors, or to certain firearms accessories such as those listed above. This also includes instructions on how to convert a firearm to automatic or simulated automatic firing capabilities, or shows users how to install the above-mentioned accessories or modifications.
Okay,
So,
YouTube.
Forgotten Weapons is going to get banned.
So, YouTube, I want to give you a little bit of information there. It is completely illegal to show I think it's completely illegal to show someone how to manufacture an actual machine gun. Telling someone how to properly install an autoseer is already a crime.
Technically, it's not though, because if they do it accidentally, like in the like people trying to make double state what's it called, binary triggers, like homemade binary triggers. If you do it just wrong, you can create an automatic weapon if you pull the trigger just right. But if you destroy it, it's fine. There's some weird gray area in there.
What I'm talking about is
isn't there a deviation here? It's the difference between writing a book about making a bomb versus showing some making a bomb. You're allowed to write a book about making a bomb.
Well, actually, apparently the one that's concerning people, especially those in the gun community, are the ones that include links to sites that sell these items.
Yeah, so Forgotten Weapons is gone because all their links are to Rock Island Auction House and the
so
other.
If
there are, but
if
Forgotten Weapons is already on full 30, so who cares?
It's basically if you include a link to a website that sells these items, even peripherally, your channel's done.
Well, my question is for like somebody like Hickok,
Don't put the links.
who is sponsored by an ammunition producer. Would he still technically be penalized for that?
Yes, if he links to their site.
Well,
Okay.
if they only sell ammunition though, because technically it's none of those above. So they'd have to be really
so
fucking
fine.
precise with everything, or they have to be so broad that it bans everybody from any firearms-related videos, effectively. So, to the point where they have to move to Pornhub.
At what point are we going to have like a YouTube competitor come in to stop the ridiculousness?
It already exists. It's Pornhub. I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you.
Actually,
I'm fucking telling you.
But the thing is, due to the ambiguousness of this policy, they can include ammunition as a firearm accessory.
No,
But it's not a firearm accessory pertaining to the above. But it's not a firearm accessory pertaining to the above stated limitations.
Has that stopped YouTube in the past?
Oh, it says include, but may not be limited to. They can add whatever the hell they want.
Of course they can. It's their website.
So, yes, if they declare ammunition to be a firearm accessory, then no, you can't leak the ammunition either.
Well, they haven't claimed that yet. Otherwise, it would be in the original documentation. So we're working off a set of what ifs and how thens. So,
I'd say the probability is higher than we would be comfortable with.
Again, full 30s out there if you really care that much. Go put your videos there. Advertise it through Twitter. You'll be fine.
Well, I don't follow gun content anyway. I mean, despite my NRA card coming in the mail, I actually don't.
That's your fault if you're not following the amazingness of gun content like Demolition Ranch.
Yeah, Demo Ranch is normie shit. You gotta watch Forgotten Weapons.
But
Forgotten Weapons is
of course,
normally
I watched
shit.
them
Watch
too.
Top Flater Mouse.
Do you watch Sea and Arsenal?
See, an Arsenal's pretty good.
we're not devolving into a talk about gun channels.
Yes, we are. Let's have some fun.
Okay,
No,
look,
we've had a
all
good
of
few
these
of those
gun
already.
channels can end up under this policy because YouTube has a very significant history of creeping into areas they said, oh, we would totally not go there. YouTube cannot be trusted. People are smart that they're moving to other platforms, but that could damage this niche. And YouTube's already facing serious, in the red issues. So pushing content creators away...
What in the red issues are you talking about?
They've always been in the red.
Yeah, they've been in the
They've never
red,
run
but
a
they're
profit.
going to get worse
They're
and worse and
subsidized.
worse.
Yeah,
And,
But they're
probably-
a division of Alphabet, which has never been in the red.
yes, I know, but if YouTube stops, I'm not saying that YouTube needs to be profitable. I'm saying that what YouTube is for Alphabet Incorporated is basically a way for them to promote other services that are in the black, and they subsidize it. But if they lose enough of their content on YouTube, it's going to fall apart, and they're going to just jettison the entire thing.
Okay, name me one person that watches YouTube just for the gun content.
I
It's
do
not-
pretty much.
it's
The
not
gun
ju-
gun
it's-
content, the politics.
It's not just...
No, you said
Yeah,
gun
well-
content and the politics. All right, so if gun content was off, would you still watch
Well,
YouTube
here's
for
the
the
thing.
politics? Because all the
po-
creators
YouTube
are there?
politics. No. Here's the problem, Topic, because YouTube politics are already at threat, and as we've seen recently with events including Crowder and a bunch of other channels, what you're seeing is a huge decrease in the amount of channels that are getting monetization. Not to mention being even allowed to continue existence on YouTube. It's only a matter of time that through all this moral posturing on the channels that aren't allowed to exist, that people are going to be driven away. And the problem is that it tends to be hurting the creators and not the mainstream sources and media and whatnot that are trying to find a place on YouTube, which is admittedly, as Emblem put, is just trying to be discount Netflix and failing at that.
Okay.
It's a knock-on effect. It's not just one thing goes away. It's kind of the Jenga tower. They keep pulling pieces out of the damn thing.
They can pull as many pieces as they want, because at the end of the day, when you say I'm going to go watch some videos online, you're still going to say I'm going to go watch some YouTube.
Well, it
It's
depends
just
what
like-
kind of
I guess
videos.
It's just
I'm-
like when you're going to search a term online, you're going to Google it. You're not going to Bing it. It doesn't matter if you're actually using Bing. The colloquialism is I'm going to go Google it.
Okay, but here's a question, Topic.
But it's
Where
a
do you go
Jenga
for your
tower
porn
policy.
and your anime porn? I don't think you go to
4chan.
YouTube for those.
Nowhere. I go to Reddit for porn on the rare occasion I watch it.
Fucking normie.
What?
Go to
'Cause
4chan
That
like
is
a fucking
disgusting.
normal person.
Why would I go to 4chan for porn?
Because
I
GIF
did
and
that. I
boost
did that. It was called
things.
being 12. I was 12. Now I'm 32. I don't have to go to 4chan anymore to look
4chan
at porn.
didn't
because my
exist.
parents
Okay,
tell
okay,
me,
okay, we're diverging again.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we're coming into the final minutes, so we actually do have time for one more topic. But the left wing trying to consume Facebook.
Oh boy, this has been fun to watch.
So, spearheaded by Rosie, just lay off the milkshakes O'Donnell and Jim Carrey, they're flipping out, going after Facebook because the Trump team did what every other team has ever done and used Facebook analytics.
Like, how many tin pot dictators around the world, shady corporations, left-wing political think tanks?
And actually, apparently, the group in question, if I remember all the disparate stories correctly, actually Trump phased them out of his campaign fairly early on.
It was the
I don't think any of that is the important issue here. The important issue is Mark Zuckerberg sold a large amount of his stock.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as he found out about this, but before the news broke.
Yeah.
Wait, was this before or after he was a human?
It's after his risk protocol engaged, but before his reaction protocol engaged.
Basically before, because Mark Zuckerberg's still not a human yet, Blob.
He's
the Zuckbot.
Some sort of reptilian robot, yeah.
The Zuckerberg is a robot, beep beep.
He needs to meet Dr. Noonian soon.
But yeah, we have Zuck has sold more stock than any other insider investor in the last 3 years, which kind of tells you he knows that his company's about to go down.
He's getting on a lifeboat with all of his shit before it hits the iceberg.
He might be a complete fucking autist, but he's not a retard.
Oh yeah, I mean, the guy is smart, but he's not wise.
Cripplingly autistic.
Yeah.
So, and again, we have the ravening liberals going after Facebook for this. So I'm just going to say, sit back and watch the show.
How are they going after Facebook? Are they going after Facebook on Facebook?
Probably that and Twitter. They just minge.
They're calling for a complete ban and boycott of Facebook. Basically, they want to delete all their Facebooks and
Good fucking meme.
Do it. Do it,
guys.
scum.
All right. Yo, real quick. I'm sorry. I just came back from the store. You want some popcorn? Let's fucking see this shit through.
I got the marshmallows. Who's got the hot dogs?
Fuck yeah. Who's got them hot dogs? Labash, I know you love shoving them hot dogs.
Speaking of
got really good hot
Facebook,
dogs.
I have a buddy of mine who was part of a gun club, and they were calling Facebook retarded for their new gun policy, and they all got like blocked, like all 30 of them.
Fuck yeah, dude! I want to get zucked.
They're in like Facebook prison or whatever.
They got zucked.
Mark, give me the zuck.
Well, as a side tangent, I shouldn't be doing this, but as a side tangent, because I guess saw this on while scrolling through Twitter for the Kicker Crink segment. Related to gun policies, Dick's Sporting Goods sales sink after their new gun policy.
Whoops.
Good.
Yeah, who would have guessed that?
Who would have thought that outdoors
selling ARs would be fucking terrible?
Who would have thought that outdoorsmen happen to also buy guns?
Huh.
I guess I'll just go to
never
Cabela's
would have guessed
instead.
it.
Good news, everyone.
Oh, also, if you're buying your guns from Walmart or Dick's Sporting Goods, you might be a basic bitch when it comes to owning a gun.
I buy my bulk Wolf 7.62 at Walmart because it's like $1 cheaper a box.
Well, that's ammo. I'm not talking about ammo. I'm talking about actual guns.
No, my Walmarts don't sell guns because selling guns is illegal in my state, basically.
Well, they sell guns here, and they're a great place. The lever actions are cheaper at Walmart than anywhere else. But that's it.
Well, I must profess my ignorance in this particular arena, but the impression I'm getting is that this particular establishment sells the equivalent brand to Fisher Price.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
They sell air rifles in 22s.
They are a step above Walmart guns, and that's it.
Well,
Right,
no,
right.
depending where you go, Walmart's got some pretty fucking good guns.
Yeah, but generally speaking, Walmart's guns do tend to sit on the trash side, and Dick's is generally better. Put it this way, Blip. All right, imagine going to Walmart for clothes. Now imagine about one step up to somewhere that's also got shitty clothes.
Target.
That's about where you're going if you're going to
You're
Dick's.
talking
for
about
guns.
Target.
Okay, so
Pretty much, yeah.
this is purely for people who want to look down on Walmart.
Dick's is the Target of guns.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I have been to Walmart, have been to Target. It will make sense now.
Now it's gonna be the target of gun laws. I'm gonna be here all week, folks.
Anything more on this
I
particular
live for
topic?
that.
Got any Kecker Cringe this week, Spark?
All right.
Actually, I do have one more quick thing I want to bring up.
Sure, go ahead.
In case it hasn't already been brought up, did we discuss Toys R Us?
What? Them going bankrupt or them bitching at millennials for not having kids?
Both. And it's ironic because both their CEOs and they as a corporation have donated to pro-abortion groups and Planned Parenthood, which I find to be hilarious.
Oh, the irony.
Way to kill your fucking base. Literally.
They're literally killing their own marketing base.
I think the best part about that whole story is that KB Toys is on a resurgence.
Baby Toys still exists?
They did a restructure after their bankruptcy years ago, and
Holy
now they have
shit.
enough capital. They're actually buying up old Toys R Us locations
Holy
and getting
shit.
open there. It's amazing. It's the best part of the story.
No!
Yes.
It's like Sega buying out Nintendo. This cannot be!
I haven't seen a
Well,
fucking
Toys
KB Toys since I was 8. Holy shit.
Didn't they do, like, Kenner Star Wars specials?
Yeah,
I don't fucking remember.
they did. They're starting to get sponsorships from Mattel now, because
Oh, no
Mattel
shit.
pulled out from Toys R Us.
Well, yeah, because
Holy
Toys R
shit.
Us is sinking shit. Why would you stay there?
Damn!
So we are watching a phoenix rise from the ashes and a turkey die in the field.
Oh yeah. It's like a fucking biplane rising out from the Hindenburg. It's crazy.
I mean, no, I would equate it to a nematode bursting out of the abdomen of a praying mantis, but that's also a good way of putting it.
Okay, so we're gonna head into the Kecker Cringe segment. First thing, this is just the most recent thing I found. Just as a reminder, someone commenting on a Vice article. Apparently, Barack Obama sent his daughter to work for Weinstein.
Oh God! Oh God!
Ah.
What did she audition as? A plant pot?
Oh god, oh fuck.
Look, there's a reason that I.
Well, apparently,
Lollapalooza.
Malia Obama was an intern, and he still owes her money.
Wait, it was a paid internship? Okay, she definitely was on the casting couch then.
Lol.
I'd like to disavow.
And apparently the company, oh wow, according to this, the company still owes cash to Robert De Niro, Quentin Tarantino, and David Bowie.
David Bowie's been dead for fucking years. Well,
He didn't die, he just went home.
There's
Yeah.
a star man. Okay, anyway. Next
Bowie.
kicker cringe. Disney's being Disney again.
Go on.
So the Han Solo movie's coming.
Yeah.
They've
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
they've shopped the posters, taking away all the blasters.
It's
how many
a
layers of
fucking
leftism are you
laser
on?
gun.
Like 5 or 6 right now, my dude.
You're
Yeah,
like
but
little
it's a
baby-
modified Mauser C96.
like-
Listen, that is a high capacity. It's got 50 shots. Fully
than that.
semi-automatic
So
DL40 laser
I-
blaster. You don't
Fully
want that.
semi-automatic.
Last tech.
I'm looking at the before and after pictures. They got rid of "quote unquote" Han's blaster and Chewie's bowcaster.
It's a fucking crossbow.
It's a laser
high
crossbow.
capacity
Jesus
assault
Christ! What was the
They got rid of it.
Okay. Quick question, guys.
What if a
When
kid gets
was-
a hold of a laser crossbow? Do you want that on your conscience?
It could hurt somebody.
Okay, guys. Quick
You're right
question.
out.
When was the last time there was a murder using a crossbow?
Wait, give me a second. I actually gotta fucking Google this. Keep going.
And then the before and after images, they actually bring the black man a little closer to the forefront and make him a little bigger.
Okay,
Oof.
Oh,
speaking
actually,
Donald Glover. To be fair, Donald Glover's awesome.
January
speaking of
19th.
KB exclusives and Star Wars, Hasbro are coming out with a 3.75-inch scale Jabba's sail barge.
Okay.
I
Damn.
shall link it in the chat.
How much of the original Star Wars film do you think could not be made in today's climate? Like, I wonder.
The barometer is
could you-
this.
Could
Decoy,
you
the
even
barometer
have
is this.
Carrie Fisher in a metal bikini?
It's very,
now?
very simple. Can J.J. Abrams take his daughter to see the film? If the answer is no, it's not worthy.
Basically, if they're trying
Can
to
he
make
take his wife's daughter to see the film?
Yeah, his wife's daughter.
I just wonder if like the whole like metal bikini thing is that out now? Like,
yeah, that's definitely out. Despite it being a
It's
hot seller.
not out for oh fuck, what's her name?
Lena Dunham.
Oh, oh God.
Ah.
Fucking emergency abort. Emergency abort. Smart. Next one. Quick.
Today we've lost a great man, folks. We have lost a man to madness.
Whomst.
He rewrites the Vietnam War history to praise Parkland students' gun control march. The man in question is Bill Murray.
Really?
Press
No.
F to pay respect, gentlemen.
I always found Bill Murray to be rather apolitical.
Apparently, he's attempting to glorify the Parkland gun control activists by comparing them to Vietnam protesters.
You
They're
mean
the reason
people
why we
that
lost the fucking war.
Yeah, you mean the people that called our soldiers baby killers, spit on them, burned flags when they came home. Several of them joined the Weather Underground and tried to start communist uprisings in the U.S.
yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
You mean
Yeah, that's
people
fair.
that,
That's a fair comparison.
You mean people that we should have arrested on the site as terrorists and brought them up on treason charges? Shit like that?
You still have execution for that.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the
yes.
few crimes you should be hanged for in the U.S.
Really? You could be hanged for it?
Yep. Not publicly.
I know how I'm
private.
going out.
I think it might be military only, but I'm not entirely sure. I just know
I think
that
any
hanging
form of
and
treason's a military crime. I'm pretty sure.
Well, we do have a former Navy enlisted man.
Seawar, you could replace the Super Bowl with that. I'm sure you'd get.
So, Adam. Top Keck.
You can call me Adam. It's on my Facebook profile.
Okay.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah. Okay.
the problem here is Bill Murray is basically praising them, and considering the Vietnam protest, I mean, he was part of that generation. So.
Yeah.
Well,
He probably looks upon it with rose-tinted spectacles.
give government gun.
Yeah.
So can we place bets now? How long until he stands on Harold Ramis's corpse to grandstand
Well-
for them?
We can make a betting call until he gets called a Nazi.
No. I think we got 2 weeks before we get standing on Harold Ramis's corpse.
I give it 2.5.
Speaking of other celebrities, this one's Keck.
Yes.
So, one of the least likable bitches from the UK.
Katie Smurfway.
There's a fair few to choose from.
Yeah, that's very vague.
yeah, which hoggish MP are we talking about?
No,
Actually,
I think he's talking about J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, I am talking about J.K. Rowling.
Oh,
Damn!
J.K. Rowling blames middle-aged moment for liking tweets calling trans women men in dresses.
Ison, where's that popcorn? Where's that popcorn?
Here, buddy, right here. Here you go.
Okay, I'm going to quote this. J.K. Rowling's reps have claimed she had a clumsy and middle-aged moment after she liked a tweet that referred to trans women as men in dresses. The beloved Harry Potter author shocked fans yesterday when she liked a controversial tweet amid a row about the status of transgender women in the left-wing Labour Party. After a surge in anti-trans
It
rhetoric,
is now official that J.K. Rowling is a closeted TERF.
a friend,
Closing. Let's not finish.
A fringe group of campaigners have led calls for transgender women to be banned from standing on Labor's women-only shortlists for Parliament, and have threatened to resign from the party if it does not agree to their demands. Rowling, a prominent Labour supporter who frequently engages in issues around the party, liked a message about the campaign from a prominent anti-transgender campaigner.
A turf.
Big trannies watching you, JK.
Imagine turning Labour.
The tweet in question: I was shouted at by men at my first Labour Party meeting, aged 18, because I asked them to remove a page 3 calendar. I've been told to be louder, stronger, independent. I've often not felt supported. Men in dresses get brocialist solidarity I never had. That's misogyny.
I mean,
but what
it's
if
a
they
bad.
use
I'm kind of
cocto
agreeing with the
removist?
turf.
What if they use cocto removist? Does that make them actual women now, or like? This is an actual JK question.
Only temporarily.
Oh, and
The spell wears off.
is Professor McGonagall going to turn into a trans woman now?
I don't care.
Trans woman.
She's the original transracial. Move over, Rachel Dozal.
All right. Now, real quick, Spart. I just want to let you know I have 2 quick Kecker cringes I want to bring in at some point.
Okay.
We're over the hour, just to let you guys know.
All right.
So,
Well,
make it
these
quick.
are quick.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So what?
Go.
All right. First one. All right. David Hogg, one of the Parkland students, keeps getting rejected from colleges.
I wonder why.
And he's eating muffins to cope. What a poor, sad little man.
I'm actually going to follow on to this. He had nothing but grammatical mistakes, misspellings, and proper capitalizations on all his tweets about getting rejected from college. It was the best.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So
the second beautiful thing, real quick. I'm sorry. Most of all, the Democrats have now taken out $6 million, even though they're in debt, to get just for a huge loan, so they can try and pull themselves together.
I'm not surprised.
Where are they getting the loan from? Trump.
Small loan of $6 million.
Don't worry.
Interest free.
George
You're
Soros
gonna
is
love
good.
it a lot.
That is all. I sent out.
Oh God. This one's cringe of the mind-bending variety.
Race for impact, boys.
The University of Wisconsin campus considers eliminating 13 majors because they do not believe that they provide a clear path to employment.
Oh no.
What are they?
American Studies, Art, English, French, Geography, Geoscience, German, History, Music Literature, Philosophy, Political Science, Sociology, and Spanish.
I did
the
not see
Spanish-
German
let me-
studies,
Spanish-
I'm extremely disappointed.
Let me guess. They still have a gender studies.
Probably.
No, the
Wait,
thing
wait,
is with Spanish, there's actually
geoscience.
useful.
You mean geology? One of
Is
the
it-
most important fields for resource extraction in the fucking world?
It says all it says is Geography and Geoscience.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
so,
it's one of those
okay.
mixed fields.
Well,
It's
no.
got-
They're separate majors.
Huh.
Well, I
Geography.
understand geography because it's just fucking maps.
Well, geography, comma, geoscience. They're separate. But history, philosophy, English.
These are now all surplus to requirements. It's
Political
interesting, though, that English is categorized similarly with Spanish.
Um,
Well,
Incredibly-
Spanish is
I'd like
easy
to-
because it's a second language. You can become a translator and make pretty fucking good money.
But
apparently-
that's the
I'd like
thing, is that
to-
Spanish
I'd like to
is
disagree.
spoken by a huge swath of the population.
Well, the thing is, what we mean, but usually what a college campus means by English, but would be what most reasonable people would call literature.
Literature, yeah.
I literally have a history degree, and I will tell you right now that they're kind of right.
Okay.
Like, with a history degree with a teaching certificate can do something for you, but like my history
Yeah,
degree on its own has done nothing for me.
Documentaries, TV.
To be fair, I mean, if you're not,
there's a limited
used for
blip,
like
there-
pre-law.
a blip that's a niche field like art, like certain art degrees at best you can get like an art restoration position, but those are very rare positions. Usually they don't really care about degree, they care about the talent of the person doing it.
Okay,
Well,
well,
the thing is-
I think we're splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
Also, you got something like Spanish, which is spoken by a huge portion of the overall population.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Spart. Isn't this coming from a left-wing angle?
Well, no. They're talking about they're eliminating the degree of
Seawell,
Spanish, not the
I'm asking
language.
this about
No. They're not eliminating the degrees. They're eliminating the courses
Oh.
altogether.
Oh.
Right.
Whoa. Okay, that's
But the question stands:
I
is
thought
this
you were
is
saying-
this from a left-wing angle though? Who are seeking to stop these?
They're saying they're low enrollment and they do not provide a clear path to employment, so they're going to completely axe 13
No,
majors.
the thing is, that is not very left wing because they will allow. Left wing is very postmodernist, which allows for anything to be art. Allows you to do anything you want, even if
but
it's
more
not
to the
correct
point,
in
it
society.
discriminates against all the Spanish speakers.
Hold on, you said destroy.
What?
You said it again. You said they're axing majors, not classes, but majors. Which is it?
They're facing 13 majors are facing elimination.
Okay,
so just majors, it's
You're
degrees.
still
Yeah.
gonna study.
Yeah,
It's
that
still
is
gonna
different
study
from
history.
courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to replace their departments with expanding marketing, management, graphic design, computer information systems, and chemical engineering.
So,
I'm
Steph,
okay with
Bad
this.
idea.
so Steph,
Basically,
yeah.
I don't
Putting
see
in
a
a
problem
community
with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm okay with this. This is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little sad that they're axing history, but there will always be a college somewhere that will teach
English.
history. Yeah.
Political science.
It's because they're all
Well,
social studies that are controlled by Marxists
Why would
anyway.
they
No one
teach
actually gives a shit.
Why
As
would
someone
they
who
teach
was a
political
student,
science?
all
They're
right.
going to indoctrinate you anyways.
As someone who is a student of political science, and by the way, not an indoctrinator, thankfully, I can say safely that I have no qualms if a school decides to cut this course. You know, if my school decided to do it, I would say, oh well, I'll find another. That's what people need to do if they're gonna have a problem with this. Otherwise,
Okay,
a lot
fine.
of these courses are just indoctrinator central, anyways.
Except for geoscience, which I find odd because that's basically geology.
Because
it's
it's
geology.
not geology. It's a meme version of it. Trust me. As someone who's
Okay.
taken geoscience courses,
Okay.
they're a meme.
Yeah. Okay.
What is geoscience?
Watered down geology mixed in with some chemistry for atmospherics.
Actually, it considers it geoscience. Apparently, it's a mix of geology, geophysics, hydrology, oceanography, marine science, atmospheric
it's a
science,
meme
planetary.
science.
So basically, it's just environmental sciences general.
yeah.
And how the
Study.
white man is responsible for exploiting the world.
Yeah.
Where is this?
And
is
making
this
it a better place.
Is this a specific university or is this a bunch of universities?
Specific university.
Yeah, specific.
Which one?
So I was going to ask that.
University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point.
Okay, well, there's your answer then. It's Spanish. I don't think there are that many Spanish speakers in Wisconsin relative to various other states.
Apparently not
Yeah,
that
you're
many in Stevens Point.
Probably not that
Goddamn
many.
sure.
Right, so if they're replacing it with things like chemical engineering,
Business
Informa-
sciences.
information technology, I was concerned that this was a stunt to replace all these with gender studies.
No. They're replacing
No,
them
they're
with
replacing them with that.
skills.
Well, the one that worries me is the replacement of English.
Yeah.
English has a very limited usage as a degree.
I agree.
You can use it to be a teacher, and that's generally about it.
Well, the thing is,
Librarian,
they're
a few other
famous
things. But,
history.
yeah.
Thing is, we don't know if they're actually removing it. Just they're saying they're cutting it as a major, but from the tone that they're
It's
saying
probably-
it, I think they're from the tone they're axing the course.
No. They
No,
will always have
You
English
they wouldn't be
101.
able to do that.
They will always
They
have
wouldn't be able to do
English.
that.
English 101 will exist till the end of time. So
Yeah,
will
no,
It teaches
literature
you how to write the
courses.
papers you need
Yeah.
for all the rest of the class.
Yeah, and also don't forget that there's technical writing courses that are needed for a lot of STEM fields.
Yeah, but taking from someone who's actually been in a STEM field, it's actually a lot more of a meme than you might actually imagine.
Yeah.
As far as writing, it's not actually writing; it's pseudo writing.
Yeah.
You're just
Well,
documenting.
Okay, I've got one more, and then we're done for the night.
Yep. Okay.
So the fourth largest bank in the United States, Citigroup,
Yes.
has announced that it will no longer do business with clients that do not meet a host of progressive gun control requirements, none of which are mandated by federal law.
What?
Wow, there goes a lot of fucking
Excuse me.
conservative businesses.
Okay. Mr. Citigroup Bank, are you retarded, or did somebody drop you when you were a baby?
In a blog post, Citigroup announced, under this new policy, we will require new retail sector clients or partners to adhere to these best practices. 1, they don't sell firearms to someone who hasn't passed a background check. 2,
That's illegal.
That's illegal.
Basically. 2, they restrict the sale of firearms for individuals under 21 years of age.
That's illegal to require of them.
Yeah.
3, they don't sell bump stocks or high-capacity magazines.
That's personal choice.
This policy will apply across the firm, including the small businesses, commercial, and institutional clients, as well as credit card partners, whether co-brand or private label.
Wait. So if I bought a credit card or used a credit card that was under Citibank to buy a bump stock in my state, which is completely legal, would that penalize the credit card company?
They'd auto deny you.
Yeah, but it would just be a purchase at a gun store.
No, the item's on there. The item's on there.
I guess.
Apparently, they're doing it unilaterally without asking clients or customers. They're just saying, this is our guidelines.
I'm smelling something. I smell the investors. Oh, God. They're making phone calls to lawyers. Oh, God. This is not good.
I smell the bullshit.
Citi promised to respect the decision of clients that chose not to follow their guidelines and work with them to transition their business away from Citi.
Here's what I'm going to say, right? I'm totally okay with these things happening. I'm totally okay with restricting the access of this stuff to like people age under 21, myself included, as far as a business decision. But we can't have that in the same country where you have to force a fucking bakery to bake a cake for a gay wedding. The problem is now these people have made their bed and they're gonna have to fucking sleep in it. And the fact
bullshit. As long as the fags are over 21, you can force both of them to do the same thing. It's completely the same thing.
Well, honestly, yeah. Well, that's the thing is that you shouldn't be allowed. That's the problem is that you shouldn't. I'm in the camp that people should be allowed to not bake a cake for a gay wedding, and people should also be allowed to deny, gun purchase to people under the age of 21.
You have the right to associate with business-wise who you wish. If a guy walks in and he smells funny, you can say, "I'm not selling to you," because you smell funny.
You're allowed to fucking deny service because of the it's freedom of association, and the fact that people nowadays want that stuff to be fucking mandated, they have to now acknowledge they must be mandated in regards to age as well. So basically, these companies should not be allowed to bar service to people age 21 and under.
Oh God, yeah, because in a lot of these anti-discrimination laws, age is one of the things listed.
Exactly.
So they've just basically made it elite. The laws they're making, they basically just made the normies go, maybe you guys shouldn't be making these laws, and let the bakers say, fuck you, we don't want to sell a cake to you.
Yeah, it's a bit too late for that.
No, it isn't, actually.
Cat's out the bag.
No, legislation can come in to stop it.
All right, gents, that's pretty much all we have time for. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys, a few of you. Hi, Decoy. Sorry you didn't quite make it for the whole thing.
I didn't realize it was Eastern.
It's fine.
I'm sure you told me. I was 1 hour late because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, sorry. I could have sworn we told you it was Eastern.
I'm sure you did. I did not say you're an idiot. I said I'm an idiot.
We'll fix it in post. Don't worry, Decoy.
I wasn't told at all.
We'll add you in post. Blip, you could have it in post like they added Jabba into the first Star Wars movie, right?
Yeah, it's a special edition episode.
And the Wookiee. But anyway, so once again, the panelists from my left and my right, Ice and Fire.
Hey, I want to fucking die.
Slam.
Blibbity blub.
Why are Germans bad cooks? The only good one killed himself.
Oh.
See you all.
Have a good night, all, and stop being such soy boys.
Decoy, I'm sorry. We'll get you. We'll message you earlier next time.
I apologize. I will know it's Easter next time.
Labash?
I diagnose you with the gay.
Lagasp. And Topcack.
Remember, if the cancer can't kill me, you leftists can't either.
That being said, this has been Spartacus for UO with the Deplorable Batcave in the podcast. Till next time, my beautiful people, Shadowlay.